Sofia. The scream hit like thunder, slicing through the night like a knife through flesh. She froze on the steps, her heart pounding in her ears. The flickering glow of a street lamp lit up the window, and for a split second, she saw a shadow dart across the road. Empty. Silent. Just the sound of her heartbeat. Sofia had just come back from her 18th birthday party. Music still rang in her ears. Her pockets were full of tiny gifts, bracelets, cards. Her cheeks still warm from laughter, her hair still smelled like candles and perfume. But all of that vanished, like someone had hit pause. The front door of her house was wide open. Not cracked. Not ajar. Wide. Open. She stepped inside. The curtain by the hallway danced in the cold night breeze. Her heels clicked against the floor, too loud in the silence. Something was wrong. Not terrifying. Not dramatic. Just wrong. And then she saw it. Right there, on the welcome mat, wrapped in blue paper, tied with a white ribbon, a box. Clean. Unmoved. Like it had been placed with purpose. Intention. Her breath caught. She crouched. A handwritten note was taped to the top. Open when you turn 18. She stared. Her birthday was today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. She reached for the box, but her fingers hesitated an inch above the ribbon. And then she heard it. A voice. Not outside. Not in the room. Inside her. In her mind. Don't open it. Not yet. Sofia jerked her head. No one. Nothing. But it wasn't a thought. It was a sentence. Whispered. Felt. The box was heavier than it looked. Cold. As if it had been sitting somewhere dark for years. It smelled like dust, like forgotten places. Old paper. Time. Her eyes scanned the street through the still open door. Empty. Not a single car. Not even a raccoon in the garbage. She shut the door. Locked it. Turned the lights on, and off again. Somehow, the darkness felt safer. Holding the box like a bomb, she climbed the stairs slowly, each step echoing like a countdown. Her room welcomed her with silence. Familiar silence. Too familiar. She placed the box on the bed. Sat beside it. Looked at it. And again, the voice. Not yet. But her hand was already moving. She opened the drawer. Took out the scissors. The metal glinted in the moonlight like it knew something. The ribbon sliced with a soft hiss. The blue paper slid off slowly. The cardboard was old. Yellowed. Taped shut in a hurry. She peeled it open. Inside, darkness. Still. Silent. And something wrapped in layers of newspaper. She reached in. It was cold. Hard. Familiar? She lifted it. A recorder. The kind you'd find in the 90s. Tape inside. Labeled in red ink. For Sofia. And the voice in her head went silent. The recorder was old. Gray. Scratched. A crack in the lid. But the tape inside was still there. A red marker label on it read, For Sofia. She pushed the cassette in. Pressed play. Static. A click. Then, a woman's voice. Calm. Warm. Too familiar. But Sofia didn't recognize it. Hi, sweetheart. If you're hearing this, then you're grown. And I bet you have her eyes. Sofia flinched. The voice, it knew her. How to say her name. When to pause. When to sigh. It wasn't random. This person knew her. Personally. You weren't supposed to find this. But I couldn't stay silent. I saved it all. For you. Because the truth, it always finds a way. Rustling. Silence. Sofia set the recorder on the desk and pulled out the next item from the box, an envelope. Yellowed. Stamped with a postmark she didn't recognize. Inside, a letter. Handwritten. Elegant. And a photo. She slid one out. A woman. Dark hair, deep eyes. Familiar, too familiar. But a stranger. On the back, a note. Summer. Right before she disappeared. Mom? Her voice cracked. She stepped out of her room with the photo. Her mom was in the kitchen, rinsing a mug. She turned, saw the photo, and froze. Where did you get that? In the box. Who is she? Her mom stared, lips tight. Then she snapped. Nobody. Throw it away. And walked out, letting the mug fall into the sink. Water ran. But all Sofia could hear was her own heartbeat. The photo in her hand. The recorder on her desk. And the woman in the picture felt like someone from her dreams. Or her DNA. She returned to her room. Hit play again. I couldn't tell you back then. I did what I had to. But time will make it right. You're strong. And you look more like her than you know. Like who? Sofia wanted to scream. But stayed silent. She pulled another photo. Same woman. This time, holding a baby. A baby with a birthmark under the eye, just like Sofia's. Then something changed. The voice on the tape grew sharp. If he finds out you've opened this, be careful. He's still out there. Who was he? Why still? Sofia rewound. Played it again. Same words. Same chill down her spine. She went back to the kitchen. Her mom sat in the dark, her back turned. A cigarette glowed in her fingers. First one in years. Is it her? Sofia asked. The woman in the photo? No reply. Is she alive? Still silence. Who's my father? The cigarette burned down. Her mom crushed it into the ashtray. Hard. The ceramic cracked. Go to bed, Sofia. But sleep didn't come. That night, she sat on the floor, surrounded by old photos, a letter, and a tape recorder. And for the first time, she felt that the world she'd grown up in was built from fragments, like a mosaic. But some pieces had been hidden. And now they were starting to show. Her name was Emma. She loved the rain. And she feared silence. The voice on the tape had changed. Softer now. As if the speaker was remembering someone important. Painfully important. We lived in a small town. One of those places where nobody forgets anything. Especially not the ones who disappear. Sofia sat cross-legged on the floor, arms wrapped around her knees. Her face was still. No tears. No fear. Just listening. Focused. Like in a chess match where every word was a move. She was older. Beautiful. But she wasn't allowed to choose. Someone chose for her. And then she vanished. Just vanished. Click. She paused the tape. Emma. First time that name had come up. Who was she? A mother? A sister? Why did the voice speak about her with such tenderness? And where did she go? In Sofia's mind, things started to connect. A map, of sorts. But without borders. Without names. She needed something real. Not just words. She crept downstairs. Mom was asleep. Or pretending. Kitchen light, off. In the garage, it was cold. Smelled of old paint and sawdust. Boxes. Crates. Luggage. She dug for an hour. Maybe more. And found it. An old cardboard box, taped shut. Faded writing, 2007. She opened it. Yellowed newspapers. A bundle of letters. Another cassette. She carried everything to her room. Started with the papers. Third page in, a photo. Young woman goes missing. Last seen at Black River Station. Police suspect a relative. Name undisclosed. She held the photo up. The face was blurry. But the eyes, same shape. Same fire. Emma. Beside it, a line in bold, family refuses to comment. Similar incidents reported in girl's background. Sofia exhaled. Everything had a new tone now. She loaded the second tape. If you found this, it means you know how to look. And that means you're like her. The voice was for her. But also about someone else. Emma was never easy. She asked too many questions. Dug too deep. And one day she was gone. No goodbye. No note. Just a shadow. Sofia held the cassette. It felt like it pulsed in her hand. Inside her, a realization. Emma wasn't just missing. She was connected. A sister, maybe. A mother. But definitely not a stranger. She walked to the mirror. Stared at herself. Same eyes. Same birthmark. Same something. Mom, she whispered. Who was she? But Mom was asleep. And probably dreaming the same dream she'd buried 20 years ago, between dusty tape, old newspapers, and silence. Tell me the truth. Sofia stood in the kitchen, holding that same photo. The woman, Emma, stared from the picture like she knew. That one day, the truth would claw its way out. That you can't bury the past in a box. Is she my sister? Or my mother? Mom was silent. Her hands clenched around the edge of the table. Then suddenly. Forget her. She destroyed everything. Sofia flinched. She'd never heard her mother like this. The voice wasn't just angry. It was afraid. And something else, guilt? What exactly did she destroy? Sofia asked, barely above a whisper. Her mom turned away. Window. Cigarette. Inhale. Exhale. She ran. Left. Lied. Made things up. Everything was her fault. Then why did she say she did it to protect me? Mom froze. What? I heard it. On the tape. She said, I did it to protect you. Was that about me? You? From who? Her mother's eyes darkened. Not with rage. With exhaustion. You don't know what kind of person she was. And do you? Her mother pressed her lips together. Walked out. Shut the door behind her. Silence. Sofia stood alone in the kitchen. Heart pounding. Photo in hand. Recorder on the table. She pressed play again. Emma's voice returned. Softer now, but cracked. If you're listening to this, I know you've already started to feel it. I couldn't hold it in forever. I didn't do this out of hate. I did it to protect you. From him. From who, Emma? Sofia whispered in her head. My father? She rewound. And then, she heard it. And Richard knew. He always knew. But he stayed silent. Sofia froze. Richard? She grabbed a pen. Wrote the name down. The first real clue. A name. A man. The house was silent. Night fell outside. But inside her, everything buzzed. She gathered all the tapes, photos, letters, shoved them into her backpack. She glanced at her mother's room. The door still shut. She knocked. I'm leaving. No reply. Just a small sound from inside, maybe a sigh. Or a blanket pulled tight enough to drown the world out. Sofia stepped into the night. The air was crisp. Breathing felt easier than it did inside those walls. She knew one thing: until she found out who Richard was, she wouldn't stop. Because if Mom was lying, and the tape told the truth, then only one question remained. Whose truth matters more? Sofia hadn't slept in 2 nights. She sat on the floor, surrounded by clippings, letters, and tapes that looked like they belonged to someone else's life. But the most terrifying part, they were about hers. She held another photo in her hands. Found it by accident, tucked between the pages of an old letter that had slipped from an envelope. A hospital room. White sheets. A woman holding a baby. The woman, Emma. Younger than in the other photos. Exhausted, but smiling. Her eyes full of light. And fear. And the baby. Sofia. She knew it. The birthmark under the left eye. The same blanket still in her closet. The same face from her childhood albums. But this photo was not in any of those albums. On the back, handwritten, "You were so small." She showed the photo to her mom. Her mother sat down in silence, eyes fixed on the floor. "Is this me?" Sofia asked. Her mom nodded. "Who took it?" "I was there. With you both." "Then why don't I remember this?" Her mom inhaled. Looked far away. "You were too. You were sick." Emma showed up, unannounced. "She wanted to see you. I let her. Just for one day." "In the hospital?" "You were under observation. And she wanted to hold you. That's all?" A pause. Her mom sighed. Stood up. Left the room. Sofia knew that wasn't all. She played the next cassette. "I remember that day," Emma said. "She had no right to hold you. I was your mother. And I ran. I took you. Because if I left you there, he would have killed you." Sofia froze. Her heart felt like it was trying to break out of her chest. "I took you, yes. I ran. We had 2 weeks together. Then she found us. Took you back. But I knew you were mine. And she knew it too." Sofia stopped the tape. Who took whom? Her mind spiraled. Her mom said, "1 day." Emma, 2 weeks. Her mom said, "She allowed it." Emma said, "She ran." But both said they did it to protect her. Who am I supposed to believe? She whispered. She looked again at the photo. The woman in the hospital held her with a tenderness that couldn't be faked. She remembered how her mother always avoided talking about her early childhood. Got facts mixed up. Dodged questions. And she remembered, years ago, in preschool, asking, "Why is my hair different from yours?" Her mom smiled then and said, "Because you're special." Now those words meant something else entirely. Sofia sat on the floor. Photo in hand. Tape beside her. And in her head, the voices of 2 women. Each convinced she was the mother. Sofia woke up early. No alarm. The dream had vanished before she even opened her eyes. On the desk, a tape she hadn't listened to yet. She slid it into the recorder. Pressed play. If you've made it this far, you already know most of it. But not all. There's one place left. One person who can confirm what I won't have the chance to say. A pause. Then. Dr. Nina Welch. Silver Hill Clinic, Pinewood. March 17, 2007. She saw everything. Sofia grabbed her laptop. Search, Silver Hill Clinic, Pinewood. Found it. 2 hours away. Private. Small. Almost nothing in the news. She didn't tell her mother. Just packed a bag, boarded a bus, and left. The road stretched on. The city turned to forest. Little towns blinked by. People came and went. She held the cassette in her pocket like it was a charm. The clinic was unremarkable. White walls. A faded sign. Glass doors that showed nothing inside. It was quiet. The receptionist looked young. Tired. "I'm looking for Dr. Welch," Sofia said. "May I ask why?" "It's personal." "I'm Sofia. Sofia Bennett." The receptionist gave a polite smile but shook her head. "I'm sorry. We can't release any information unless you're family." Sofia hesitated. Then, like a reflex. "Emma Bennett. March 2007. The 17th. The woman froze. The smile faded. "Please wait here," she said, disappearing behind a door. 5 minutes passed. 10. Sofia's heart beat faster with every second. Then, the door opened. A woman in a white coat. Gray hair. Thin frame. Eyes that had seen too much. "Are you Sofia?" "Yes." "Come with me. You'll want to sit down." Sofia followed her into the office. She stood by the chair but didn't sit. "What is this about?" Dr. Welch studied her face. "You look just like her." "And like him." "Like who?" "It was a long time ago," the doctor said. "But I remember." "You don't forget someone who walks in with a baby bruises and a look that says, 'Please hide me.'" "Sofia Saturday, that was Emma?" Dr. Welch didn't answer right away. "You've probably heard different stories. But I only remember one thing: she was scared. And she loved you. That was clear from the moment I saw her." "She was my mother?" The doctor inhaled. "That's not for me to tell you. But what happened here left a mark. And it's still with you." Sofia felt something crack inside. Like glass. Not shattered, but already webbed. "I have more questions. And I have answers. But first, you need to know who Richard is." Dr. Welch quietly opened a drawer. Pulled out an envelope. Old, its edges faded and curled. Tied with string. In bold black marker. "For Sofia. Open when you turn 18. She placed it gently on the desk in front of Sofia, looked her in the eyes, and said. "She asked me to hold on to it. I never opened it. But I always knew you'd come." Sofia reached for the envelope like it might burn her. Inside, papers. A letter. And a photo. She started with the letter. "Sofia. I'm not dead. I was made to disappear. I knew he'd be looking for me. And for you. If you're reading this, it means he didn't make it in time. It means you're alive. And I'm still somewhere." Sofia's hands trembled. She turned the page. "I couldn't keep everything. But I left you something that changes everything. This is a will. Not legal. Human. I leave you the truth. And a choice: stay silent, or act." Attached was a real document. A handwritten will, signed. It included instructions: what to keep, what to pass on. Another page: names, dates, addresses. And a photo. A man. Gray hair. Sharp features. Eyes you wouldn't want to meet in a dark alley. But something familiar. The eyes. The cheekbones. The forehead. On the back, Richard. "If he's still alive, don't go near him." Sofia stared at the photo for a long time. Was this her father? But Mom had never mentioned him. Only silence. And Emma, she ran from him. "Do you know him?" she asked the doctor. Dr. Welch nodded. "I saw him once. He came here days after Emma did. Asked questions. Pressured us. Left a card. I'll never forget his eyes." "He was who, to me?" The doctor paused. He was your father. But whether he was a man, I'm not sure. Sofia sat silently. Now she had a name. A face. But no idea what to do with it. Her fingers clenched the photo like a weapon. Who was she supposed to hate? Her mom, for keeping silent? Emma, for leaving? Richard, for hunting? Or herself, for still needing to know? Emma's letter ended with, "Revenge isn't the goal. But truth can hurt more than punishment. You have a choice." I never did. Sofia left the clinic in the early evening. The air was heavy, but clean. In her pocket, the photo. In her chest, a storm. And for the first time on this journey, she didn't know what she felt. Sofia came home late. Quietly. No doors slammed. Her mom didn't ask where she'd been. She just sat in the armchair, motionless, with that distant stare, the kind shaped not by days or months, but years of silence. Sofia placed the recorder on the table. "We're listening to this together," she said. Her mom didn't respond. But she didn't refuse either. Sofia pressed play. The tape was old. Emma's voice came through with static, distant. But her words cut the air like blades. She wasn't to blame. She was just a girl. And he did everything. He broke everything. I screamed. No one listened. Except her. Her mother sat still. But her hands clenched tighter. I couldn't keep Sofia with me. He would have found her. I knew it. So I left her with her. Because I trusted her. Because she was my sister. A tear rolled down her mother's cheek. She didn't wipe it away. I knew she would raise her better than I ever could. I was broken. She was strong. I didn't ask. I begged. And she said yes. Click. The tape ended. Silence filled the room. Only the old clock ticked in the corner. Her mother wiped her face. Looked at Sofia. For a long time. Then said, "I saved you. And I lost Emma." Sofia didn't speak. She was my sister. Younger. Bright. Naive. And he was our stepfather. At first, it was quiet. Then. I realized. Too late. Why didn't you ever tell me? Because I was scared. Of myself. Of you. Because I wasn't your mother. But I wasn't just your aunt, either. I raised you. Loved you. And every day, I lied. And him? Her mother exhaled. He's long gone. Disappeared. Maybe ran. Maybe dead. We never found out. And Emma? She left. Never said where. I got one letter. Then silence. But she knew you were with me. And she knew I wouldn't betray her. Sofia sat quietly. In her head, finally, there were facts. Spoken out loud. But no idea what to do with them. Her mother, not her mother. Her aunt, was. Her father, a predator. Her real mom, alive, maybe. Or not. Sofia looked at the woman in front of her. She saw the exhaustion. The fear. The guilt. But also, love. The kind that expects nothing back. That just is. But in her heart, something was still missing. Because even truth doesn't always heal. Sofia didn't tell anyone where she was going. All she had was an address, from Emma's letter. A small cottage up north. No Wi-Fi, no cameras, even her phone lost signal halfway there. The road stretched on. Asphalt gave way to gravel, then dirt. Tall grass and old trees lined the way like guards of memory. The house stood alone. Peeling paint. A crooked fence. Time seemed to have stopped there. She knocked. Silence. Again. Finally, the door creaked open. An old man stood there. Thin. Bent. But his eyes, sharp, piercing. Too alive for someone his age. He looked at her. Smiled. I knew you'd come. You have her eyes. Sofia said nothing. Inside her, everything tightened. A storm ready to break. I'm Richard, he said calmly. Call me what you like. But I remember the day they took you. And the night she ran. She walked in without asking. The house smelled like old tea, dust, and smoke. What did you do to her? She left on her own. Not because of me. Because of fear. I wasn't a saint. But I'm not the monster they made me. Are you my father? He looked at her for a long moment. Biologically, yes. In truth, no. I was never meant to raise you. And I knew that was for the best. Did you hurt her? He sighed. I was harsh. I was weak. I lost control. But I didn't kill anyone. Sofia opened her mouth to speak, and stopped. The door behind them creaked. A voice. Female. Shaky. But familiar. Enough. They turned. A woman stood there. Gray hair. Worn face. But her eyes, the same. From the photos. From dreams. I'm Emma, she said. Sofia didn't believe it at first. But her heart did. Emma was alive. She stepped closer. Looked Sofia in the eye. I've been watching you. All these years. Through letters. Through friends. I knew you'd find me. But I feared you'd come too late. Sofia stood still. No more questions. Just breath. Just heartbeat. And these two, from the past. Real. Finally. They sat at the kitchen table. 3 cups of tea. 3 lives bound by one broken story. Emma spoke first. Her voice calm, but every word dropped like a stone into water. I didn't want to run. I had to. After what Richard did. I knew no one would believe me. He was the good man. Respected. Smiling. And terrifying. She looked at Sofia. I wanted to take you with me. But I couldn't. I had nowhere to go. No right. And she protected you. Her gaze turned to Sofia's mother. The woman nodded quietly. Her eyes wet, but for the first time, without fear. I hid you from him. And from her. I thought it was better that way. But you found your own path. Sofia listened. Every sentence like a missing piece of the puzzle. All these years, I lived in the shadows. But you became the light. Even without knowing me, you carried me inside you. Sofia smiled through tears. I thought life had been stolen from me. But the truth is, I was given it twice. She looked at both women. You're both mine. Not by blood, but by choice. And I thank you. For every lie told out of love. For every truth finally spoken. That night, Sofia gathered everything, the tapes, the photos, the letters. And one more box. She wrapped it in blue paper. Tied it with a white ribbon. In her handwriting. Open when you turn 18. She left it on the doorstep of another house. Not hers. But one she knew well. A girl, maybe 10 years old, peeked out the window. Saw the box. Smiled. Then ran back inside, calling for her mom. Sofia walked away. Didn't look back. She knew, this story wasn't just hers. It was meant to be passed on. Not for her, but for the next one. Because truth doesn't always save. But it always sets free. Studio microphone. And now, to you, the one listening. Every family carries secrets. Some are heavy. Some protect us. Some wound us. And sometimes, the truth feels worse than the lie. But remember this, your story, even the broken parts, has power. It doesn't end with what was done to you. It begins with what you choose to do next. So ask yourself, what box would you leave behind? And what words would you want someone to hear when they turn 18?